Welcome into another edition of our Wildcat Weekly. I am very, very excited to be joined by Heidi Voigt, the head coach of both the men's and women's NMU swim and dive team. Heidi, thank you so much for joining us today. I do appreciate you coming into the studio.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Now, swimming is something I have a lot of respect for because I did grow up in Marquette, and growing up as a kid, I would go to the PEEF.
Oh, yeah.
And in order to get into the big pool, you had to actually pass a swim test.
Yes, you have to
and
pass
that
it.
was very difficult. It was just, down and back, but I used to struggle so hard with just that small of a distance that I knew I wasn't a swimmer for sure. So I do respect a lot of what your athletes do and things like that. So we are in the midst of your season.
Yep.
Just talk to me a little bit about how things are going.
Yeah, they're going really well. Our women's team, they have one loss to Grand Valley and they've won everything else. So that's pretty exciting. And our conference is one of the top conferences in the nation. So, to be where we are now in our conference, I'm pretty excited about. And the men have done really well too. We beat Wayne State most recently, and they had a really good dogfight with Davenport University and St. Cloud, and they're just looking really good. So I'm pretty excited. We've had several GLIAC Athletes of the Week on our team, and our Toby Stiles, one of our male divers, is I think he's gotten it 2 or 3 times, the diver of the week. So he's doing really well.
Would you say that these teams have lived up to the expectations coming into the season?
Yes, I do. And we have a young team, so we have a lot of first years, and they really have come and contributed. And I think what I like the most is that they had just bought into what we're doing with training and our team philosophy right away. So it's been really fun to go to practice, and even to wake up as early as we do, and we have mornings all the time and double days, and they just come in with energy and are excited, so it makes it fun to be there.
You mentioned Toby Stiles.
Yes.
Is there anyone else that has stood out for you?
Yeah,
guys this season?
for sure. On the men's side, we also have Leo Knowles, who is from Uruguay, and he was at the World Championships, and he'll also be at the World Championships in the spring too. But he probably already has an NCAA qualifying time, so he's doing really well. We're excited about him. And on the women's side, we have a freshman standout, Annika Wright from Minnesota, that is ranked in the top 5, I think, in the 1,000 and the mile, and she's just a goer. And then returner Cami Carboni is doing really well. I think her time that she went just a couple weeks ago is just knocking on the door of qualifying for NCAAs. And right now we're training really hard, so to get those times is pretty exciting.
I mentioned just how difficult I think swimming is,
Yes.
and I know all of these student athletes are putting in a lot of work. You mentioned the early mornings and things
Yes.
like that, but can you just kind of describe just how much work that these student athletes have to put in?
Yeah.
Obviously have a busy schedule with class, but they're also putting in that work in the pool and in succeeding.
Yeah, our sport is a punishing sport. It's you can't take a lot of time off, and you kind of lose, it sounds funny, but lose the feel of the water and that kind of thing. So you really, swimmers don't take a lot of time, and when they do have to be out for some reason, it takes a while to get that feel back, and we try to keep the strength up. But they have morning practice 4 days a week, and every afternoon. We do Saturdays, and they weight lift 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the group. Our distance group and some IMers will lift twice, but they're swimming more than the other group. So it's a lot to juggle. You want to try to make the practices as individual as you can, because everybody's different, and we have a 65-person roster. So trying to tailor everything can be really difficult. And I have an amazing staff. I have an associate head coach, Matt Williams, who does an incredible job, and our diving coach, Chris Kelly, also does an amazing job. And all of us trying to just put together the best possible training for every single person. Yeah.
So speaking of training, you are getting prepared for a meet at the end of November at Calvin
Yes.
College. What are your expectations for that meet? And I guess just overall this season, what are your expectations? Where can both the men's and women's team end up, where can they go?
Yeah, Calvin College is the winter invite. It's always a great meet. They have an incredible pool, and it is true, some pools are faster than others. It's a little bit deeper, and it's got rollover gutters. It's a great pool, and when we go down there, every year we go, they do well. I think the Thanksgiving break helps them, and they kind of rest, and then really go for it. But we usually get some NCAA qualifying times. Really looking forward to hopefully getting some relay qualifying times, kind of get that checked off our list. So we know that that's going and can dial into some other things. We also have one of our women, Abby Harnett, who's also qualified for NCAAs for diving. So, we've gotten some of those done and can now focus on the rest of the season. But that's what we're most looking forward to, Calvin, is really dialing in some of those times, see what they do with a little bit of rest, and they put these fast suits on that they don't get to wear all the time, and I think it really helps their confidence too.
Awesome. Well, good luck at Calvin College, and obviously the rest of your season as well. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back with more Local 3 news in just a few minutes.